I'm standing at the end of the pier in the Scottish coastal town of Anstruther, the birthplace of Thomas Chalmers, one of Scotland's most famous sons. Behind me at the end of the pier is Thomas Chalmers Lighthouse, built on the centenary of his birth. Thomas Chalmers Lighthouse shines out into the Forth, guiding ships in their safe passage. In the 19th century, Thomas Chalmers' gospel vision shone out into Scotland. His vision was twofold. Firstly, planting gospel churches, the length and breadth of the country. And secondly, developing, nurturing a generation of leaders for these churches. At the start of the 21st century, the Bonner Trust, along with others, seeks to serve the church in the area of developing and nurturing a generation of leaders. One area of the Trust's work is development in 4 areas. Firstly, developing a training mindset in local churches. Secondly, developing a training model. Thirdly, developing training programs. And fourthly, developing training pathways. Firstly, a training mindset. Now, we can well understand the importance of training when we think of professions like medicine or law, or trades like joinery or plumbing. Without investment in the next generation, without mentoring, without apprenticeships and so on and so forth, there would be no future to these professions and trades. And yet when it comes to the church, training gospel workers is regarded as peripheral or someone else's responsibility. One reason is that we have developed a model of training gospel workers where we send people away from the local church to train in seminary or college and then take them back into the local church when they are trained. Now, the Bonner Trust, along with others, is seeking to build a culture of training in the local church, whereby local churches see training as normal and whereby local churches take ownership and responsibility for training. And wonderfully, across the country, that training mindset is becoming established in local churches. A training mindset. Secondly, developing a training model. The model of training the Bonner Trust and others are seeking to develop is what we might call partnership training. Partnership training is where the local church and the seminary take equal responsibility for training. And partnership training is where the local church and the seminary train people for gospel work together over a 4-year period. And the benefits of this model is that people learn what they can only learn in the local church, for example, Bible teaching and preaching and leadership. And alongside that, people learn what they can only learn in the seminary, both together in partnership, a rich model for training. And encouragingly, that partnership model for training is becoming the established norm in Scotland. A training mindset, a training model, and thirdly, training programs. Now, the 2 local church-based training programs that are becoming established in Scotland are firstly an apprenticeship or associate program, and secondly, a leader in training program. The apprenticeship or associate program, an individual would spend 2 years in a local church training and gaining experience alongside external study in a course like the Cornhill Training Course. And the apprenticeship program is to instill 2 things in an individual. Firstly, a confidence in God's word and ability to teach it, and alongside that, discipling in godliness and holiness. These 2 marks, the ability to teach and godliness or holiness, fundamental to what the New Testament says a gospel worker needs to be. Now, beyond the apprenticeship or associate program is a higher or more advanced level leader in training program. 3 or 4 years, again in a local church, developing in Bible teaching, Bible handling, preaching, leadership, alongside study in a seminary like Edinburgh Theological Seminary, Crosslands training, or pastor's training course. A training mindset, a training model, training programs, and finally, training pathways. Now, people approach ministry, vocational ministry, in lots of different ways, and the model of apprenticeship or associate program followed by a leader in training program, is flexible. In other words, people can work before or between these programs, perhaps in secular work, perhaps in a church-based or ministry-based job. The point is flexibility, but flexibility that doesn't cut the corners of the rigorous training that is necessary for gospel work. And the Bonar Trust wants to play its part along with others in developing this mindset, this model, these programs and the pathways for now and for generations to come to train up gospel workers for the church in Scotland.